In this video, I'm gonna show you some really cool strategies and techniques for how you can do audience research to start to understand your customers better and really get inside their heads. This will help you create much more effective marketing that gets more results. One of the most critical steps in creating a new marketing campaign or advertising or really any sort of promotional materials is to do thorough audience research. It's important that we truly understand exactly who we're speaking to and what their fears, challenges, pain points, desires are. Now, in the old days, this was accomplished by putting together really expensive focus groups and sort of taking best educated guesses as to what the consumer wants. Luckily, the internet has made it so much easier for us to gather really valuable insights around our target audience. Not to mention, with so much data available, it's really starting to remove a lot of the guesswork. So here are a few really cool strategies for how you can sort of get into the head of your own customers or potential customers online without having to spend a ton of money, and you don't even have to have an existing audience to do this. Now, the first awesome tool that I have to share with you is Facebook Audience Insights. Audience Insights is a free tool that Facebook offers to advertisers who use the platform. But the best part is you don't actually have to do any advertising or spend any money on the Facebook platform to use it. All you have to do is create an ad account, which if you haven't done already is free and pretty easy to set up. Audience Insights is great because what it does is gives us some really key information like what other brands do they follow, what are their online behaviors, and you can even find out some demographics like relationship status and some really key things that'll help inform your marketing. So the best thing I can do is show you a few examples. Now, whether you're B2B or B2C, this tool can be really useful. So I'll show you examples of both. So first, let's say something I've used in the past. Let's say you have a health supplement company. You produce some sort of supplement for fitness enthusiasts. So what I would do is I would start, so this is what it looks like when you first pull up Facebook Audience Insights. What I would do is I would come down here, skip kind of location and age. We'll keep those fairly open right now, assuming you sell all over the US. But I would come down here to interests. And when you click on interests, it pulls up some broad categories that you can get even more refined in. But right here you see fitness and wellness. So obviously people who might want your product are interested in fitness and wellness. So if you go ahead and click the plus sign there, that will kind of narrow it down. So coming over here to the information, you see you get some general information about, well, 63% of people on Facebook who like fitness and wellness related pages are women, 37% are men. So that gives you some gender information. But one thing that sticks out here is you can see that half of the users on Facebook who like fitness and wellness are married. So that can be really valuable for, say, maybe creating content around how do you balance both a marriage and fitness routine, or things that you can make really relevant to your target audience that ultimately will go further and give them much more value. You can see education level, even job titles. But another thing to jump over is if you click this tab up here, page likes, you'll see that you can see other top pages that people who are in your audience or who like fitness and wellness follow. So the Mint Julep Boutique, Groupon, IKEA. So some of them will be relevant, some of them not so much, but this gives you some ideas of maybe brands that you can reach out to and try to partner with, or just sort of look at those brands and see what sort of content or ads that they're putting out that's working, and maybe you can get some ideas of what works with your target audience. So you can see some things there. Location, this will help just sort of show, maybe these are some cities that you really want to take a look into. And then there's activity, which just kind of gives you an idea of their online activity. You can see that 64% of users on Facebook who like fitness and wellness are on mobile. So this is really important. So make sure your landing pages are optimized for mobile. Make sure any videos you create are optimized for mobile, meaning you have captions in case you're not watching with sound. So you can get a lot of really valuable insights out of Facebook Audience Insights. So let's say you already sort of created a persona and you have a niche audience. So you're speaking directly to just married women in the fitness and health space. So what you would do is you can come over here, you can select women, then come down to relationship status. So you can see all these categories, work, where you can really get very specific on who you're looking at, and then choose married. So now it's only showing us data of people who are married women who like health and fitness. So now we're getting even more targeted. That's the B2C side. Now on B2B, It's sort of a similar approach. Let me start over. So what you can do is come up here and create add new. Little side note, you can actually save these audiences as well, but I'm not gonna save for this purpose. And then always choose everyone on Facebook just to make sure, unless you wanna get just insights on people who are connected to your page, but if we're actually looking, maybe you don't already have an audience, we wanna look at all of Facebook just to get as much data as possible. So if I'm B2B and say I'm a service provider and I only serve the San Diego region, so you can come in and choose a city. So I'll say San Diego. And then don't worry about age, gender, things like that. I mean, that would, those kind of fall where they lay. We don't have to get that targeted there. But what I would come down to is advance. So maybe if you're speaking to, so you can drop work, so you can search by job titles here under the work section. So maybe if you're speaking to, say, managers, you can hit management, which is sort of a broad category, but there are some ways to get around it. You can't always search directly for the role, like people who have this job title. But what you can do is come up to interests and just think about what sort of publications do people follow that are in your target audience. So let's say you're speaking to CEOs who want to grow their business or something like that. You might find, say, Forbes is a great option. So if we type in Forbes here, we can select Forbes, and now we're getting some more insights around people who have management titles and who like Forbes in San Diego. So now that we have our targeted audience here, or at least a place to start, we can kind of look and see again kind of where things lie on the demographic side and even certain industries, but also come under activity and you can see similar things. Here, you can see desktop is actually quite a bit higher than mobile only. So now that we're speaking to people who probably look a lot more on their desktop, so you can start to align your advertising and your landing pages and things like that a little bit more towards them. So that's Facebook Audience Insights. It's a really cool tool. That's just a quick overview, but the best way for you to really learn is just dive in and start playing with it yourself. Now, another great strategy for learning more about your target audience and really getting to understand what their challenges, their fears, and their pain points and their desires are is to use review sites. You can use sites like Amazon and Yelp to really start to look at both your own company and products as well as competitors. Once you dive in and start reading these reviews, you'll start to see valuable insights around what initial problems did they have that they wanted solved, why did they buy the certain product that they did or go with the certain service that they did, and also how did it work out? What things worked for them? What things did they not like? And you can start to get a lot of insight as to what you can use for both your marketing materials as well as future product development or how to better your service. Now, the other really great benefit of using this technique is that we start to learn the language of our target audience. I think one of the traps that we sometimes fall into as marketers or business owners is we start to create this language of our own that we think our audience wants to hear. We use words like innovation or ideation or fancy phrases like technologically advanced. But the reality is, as humans, we like to be spoken to the same way that we speak to others. So as you're reading through reviews of both your own products as well as competitors, you can start to clue in on key phrases that they use describing either the challenge they had or what they ultimately desired. And if you can use that same phrasing or wording in your own marketing, it's gonna resonate with them much stronger because it's their language. So I hope you find these strategies helpful. Next time you're creating a new marketing campaign or a new initiative, try these out. See how you can get some extra insights or added data around your target audience that's gonna help you create much more effective marketing. As always, let me know what you thought in the comments, share it with a friend, and I'll catch you on the next video.